Somehow Aaron Rodgers just went into Arizona without Davante Adams and came out victorious. How did we get here in the first place?
And Rodgers escapes, gets out of trouble, runs for a first down and a whole lot more.
We all remember how this year started for Rodgers and the Packers. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but it was their only loss of the season so far. Since their humiliating 38-3 L to New Orleans in Week 1, the team has been nearly unstoppable, and a big portion of that is due to the great play by Rodgers. Outside of the 2-pick performance against the Saints, Rodgers has only thrown 1 interception, and he has been able to consistently lead the team to close wins. Whether it was against San Francisco or Cincinnati, he's just been able to finish out games like no other. Since he's played for like 2 decades, it's not much of a surprise, but his composure throughout the season is one of a kind. It seems like no matter what situation he's been in, that he's been able to do whatever was needed out of him like it was nothing. Although his stats this year are not earth-shattering, his nearly 1,900 yards, 17 touchdowns, and a top 3 QBR are all pretty amazing. Doing all this by himself is great, but without one of the best offensive linemen in football in David Bakhtiari, losing another solid lineman in Corey Linsley to free agency, and Pro Bowler Elgton Jenkins, it's much more surprising. People forget that this team has dealt with a great deal of injuries on their O-line, and it has made Aaron's job a bit tougher. Even though you still have guys like Davante Adams, Aaron Jones, and Robert Tonyan at your disposal, the lack of protection has forced Aaron to work quicker than he normally would. You would think that the missing pieces would lead to a struggling O-line, but the unit is not too bad, and is still middle of the road this year, as they somehow have only allowed 6 sacks. Credit the unit, and also Aaron, but it all seems to come down to the fact that the team has been able to adapt to the situation pretty dang well. In fact, throughout this process, Aaron has been able to fine-tune his quick passing game even more so, with a ridiculous 118.9 rating when he throws the ball in 2.5 seconds or less. Crazy enough, he is way better when he gets the ball out fast, as his over 2.5 second passer rating is over 40 less. A big reason as to why he is so much better when getting the ball out quickly is a certain stud at wide receiver in Davante Adams. Even though he just missed the matchup against Arizona, he still has had over 700 yards and 3 touchdowns in the other 7 games. Averaging over 100 yards per outing proves just how reliable he is for Aaron, and even more so than that, how important he is to the offense. Considering how important Davante is to the team's success, it seemed like a death note to go up against Arizona without him, but you'd be surprised. Hey, by the way, if you're enjoying the video, it'd be awesome if you guys could subscribe. But anyways, back to the vid. Surprisingly enough, over the past few years, Aaron has seemingly put up better stats with Davante out. Is this to say that Davante is by any means bad? Not at all, but instead that Aaron has to do much more when he isn't there. Nonetheless, Discount Double Check went into Arizona with the desire to take out the only undefeated team in football. Not only would the win demolish hopes of a perfect season, but it could be important come playoff time to determine who gets the number 1 seed. Anyways, the game started off slow for the Pack as the Cardinals got on the board first with the only points of the first quarter. Following such a rough start to the game, it didn't take Aaron too long to respond, as the team was able to put up 10 unanswered points the following quarter to end the first half 10-7. With some confidence on their side going into the third quarter, the team put up yet another touchdown to make the game 17-7. Eventually, Arizona was able to respond with a touchdown of their very own to make it 17-14. In what would become a ping-pong match of a fourth quarter, the teams each put up a touchdown, and so the game was within 3 with under a few minutes to go. Considering the fact that Green Bay had the ball in their possession with only a little bit on the clock, it seemed like a no-brainer that they would close it out at the Arizona 1. Well, it didn't go to plan, and after a delayed game, and then an incomplete pass on 4th down, the Cardinals had the ball back with 3 minutes left to go. Down 3, all the Cardinals had to do was to get within field goal range to make the game interesting. But they did it one better as they drove over 90 yards down the field to the Green Bay 5 when this happened.
High snap again. End zone and picked off!
Rodgers and the team got bailed out by a miscommunication, but it really didn't matter as they won their 7th straight game of the year. On paper, you would think it's impressive enough to go into AZ and come out victorious without Davante. But keep in mind that Robert Tonyan had a season-ending knee injury midway through the game, and they were still able to come out with a dub. Although that is insane, the fact that JJ Watt was out may have helped the Packers quite a bit. But what really kept the Cardinals from putting up much on the board was limited play by Hopkins. Crazy enough, my man forced himself into the game with a hamstring injury to get one of his only 2 catches of the entire night. By no means is the Hopkins and JJ Watt injuries an excuse as to why the Packers were able to close it out, but I figured it would be important to provide some depth as to why the Cardinals offense struggled after going undefeated through their first 7 games. Anyways, back to Aaron, and he was able to do pretty well against Arizona with nearly 190 yards and 2 touchdowns, but his under 60% completion percentage and 5-yard average were his worst since week 1. I mean, it makes sense considering the whole davante situation, but let's just say it wasn't some of his best out there. Nonetheless, the team came out with a win and are now on fire going into Kansas City for what should be yet another win in their journey to the top of the NFC. What do you guys think of Aaron and the Packers as a whole? Are they one of the best teams in football? Should Aaron be at the top of the MVP race? Let me know in the comment section. Anyways, Aaron did what many thought was impossible once again. And so now the question is, can he do it again?
First down and goal. Rodgers keeps, floats, pass is caught by Cobb.
Thanks for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed, it'd be awesome if y'all could subscribe, like, and comment down below what stuff you want next. But anyways, see you all soon and peace out.